Please rise as you are able. I now call this meeting of City Council to order.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The City of Barrie acknowledges the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Ottawa, Ojibwe, Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge the Wendat Nation Huron, who occupied these lands prior to the middle of the 17th century. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. We are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. You may be seated. Thankfully, O Canada started, and the people of Barrie were spared leadership by their mayor. We don't have student mayors, so we're going to go to confirmation of the minutes. The minutes of the City Council meeting held on February 15th, 2023 have been circulated. Are there any corrections to be noted? Seeing none, the minutes are adopted as printed and circulated. We have no awards and recognitions or reports from officers. We do have a deputation this evening. Tonight we have a deputation by Michael Speers concerning the 2023 budget and business plan, the Barrie Police Services budget. The deputation request from Morgan Cope was withdrawn prior to the meeting. I will note prior to the deputation, Councillor Harvey.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And that'll to meet my legislative requirements under Section 17, Sub 3 of the Police Services Act. I will not be here while this deputation is occurring.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey. I'll now call upon Michael Speers to the podium to provide the deputation. Please note that in accordance with the City's procedural bylaw, a maximum of 5 minutes is permitted per deputation. Mr. Speers.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Nuttall, members of council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening about the 2023 police budget. Let me get right to the point, although at this stage it's pretty much 100% moot. This police budget request by the Barrie Police is ridiculous, and approving it would be a dereliction of your duty as members of council. I say this because your consent would, in essence, be telling the police that this exorbitant request is a legitimate request, and such a decision fundamentally abandons the values I believe people in this city should expect their representatives to hold. It's putting the police ahead of the regular, everyday citizens of Barrie. It's time to say, try again, please. Why is this the case? There are many, many reasons, but I'll use my limited time to focus on a few. First, during these tough financial times when many of our friends and neighbors are being gouged for rent, utilities, and groceries, just to name a few expenses, the police service has no right to consider themselves outside of the boundaries of fiscal restraint and responsibility. Why is there never a cost of living crisis for the police? Think about it. Second, this money could be better spent on better crime prevention tools. You need to realize that police don't prevent a lot of crime. They just show up after it happens. Crime prevention starts with investments in services, resources, and programs. Communities with the least amount of crime have the most amount of resources, not the most police officers. But you don't have to take my word for it. A 2020 review by the Washington Post examining spending on state and local police in the U.S. over the past 60 years showed no correlation between spending and crime rates. Spending more on policing doesn't lower the crime rate, and spending less doesn't increase it. How then can council justify giving police such a large budget increase if it won't actually lead to a safer city? Third, it's not very fiscally responsible. Even the Federation of Canadian Municipalities has advised against the increasing flow of money to police. A few years ago, they came out saying that the increases in Canadian police budgets were unsustainable and were crowding out early intervention and crime prevention to the detriment of public safety. Police are a drain on society. Big police budgets starve other services and resources, which leads to issues of crime. Then we give police more money, starving other resources even further in the process. And then we see more crime. And it goes round and round. We all lose, except for the police, who continue to see more and more money thrown their way. Fourth, increased police budgets are representative of our society's unequal investment in male-dominated jobs over those whose ranks are filled mostly by women. I think this is especially important to remember today, International Women's Day. And fifth, policing has no place in our modern society. It is a racist and archaic institution created 2 centuries ago to dispossess, control, and suppress. It is designed to protect property and strengthen a system of economic and social brutality. Police use their monopoly on violence to prevent attacks against the system, but don't do a very good job of preventing attacks against people. Policing was designed for individualism, to protect the individual or private property. Police were not created with a collective approach. You can say community-based policing until you're blue in the face, but it won't change the fact that policing has nothing to do with community. They say there are only 2 ways to believe that police are helpful. Either you've never had contact with police, or you depend on police repression to protect your wealth. As I've said in previous deputations, we do need to keep in mind that this debate isn't just about reallocating money. Defunding the police, which I'm a strong proponent of, is about deciding as a community how we want to care for and look out for each other. Our system has starved our community of the vital services it needs for far too long. That must change. It's important to understand that defunding the police also needs to be considered within the context of a wider shift of how we view our economic relations to each other and to production, and how we can wrest away control of our lives from a rigged system that exacerbates racism and inequality. Capitalism creates and criminalizes poverty.
Point of order, Mayor Nuttall. I usually don't point of order deputants. That's the second time now he's accused police specifically of being racist. Mayor Nuttall, the deputant can stay to his points and his beliefs without making a direct accusation of racism.
Thank you, Councillor Morales. Mr. Speers.
I strongly disagree with what Councillor Morales has said. So I want that point to be known.
It's your ruling, Mayor Nuttall.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilor Morales. Mr. Speers will continue through with your deputation. Please try to stay on as outlined.
Members of council, change is always happening. It can't be stopped. Nothing in our society, nothing in our community is static. We either embrace change for the betterment of our city, or we maintain the status quo and fail to meet the challenges put before us. Will there ever be a time when the police's appetite is satisfied? Or will the budget continue to grow, as it has, leaving a city with less and less money, unable to fund important programs for its citizens? It's sad that while this city can't seem to find money for a permanent 24-hour warming center, we seem to always be able to find money for increased policing. It's time to change that. It's time we had a city council that does its job and works on real solutions to real problems facing this city. Stop relying on the same old playbook. Refuse this budget increase and use the money for the services we need. Remember, we fund what we value and we police what we don't. Thank you.
Thank you for your deputation, Mr. Speers. Are there any questions from members of council from Speers this evening? As there are none, thank you for your deputation, and we will proceed to the matter that you've made your deputation regarding. Thank you. Seeing no tax applications or communications, I'm now going to go to committee reports. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. That's section, moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that section A of the General Committee report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Reitman that section A of the General Committee report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be received. This is with regards to 23-G-024, report of the Infrastructure and Community Investment Committee, 23-G-025, report of the Community Safety Committee, 23-G-026, report of the Affordability Committee, dated February 15th for the latter two and February 1st for infrastructure. Are there any questions or comment? Councillor Morales, I see you're there. We're just going to wait for Councillor Harvey to come back in. Councillor Morales, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Just quick comment about this. This is usually a pretty standard thing. I've noticed that since we've just restarted this cycle, Mayor Nuttall, when there's a recommended motion item, whatever you want to call it, either from a member of council or an advisory reference committee, it's going to these committees. There's been all three things have happened. It's been adopted verbatim, Mayor Nuttall. It's been just received for information and not accepted, essentially, or it's been tweaked in language, or it's been deferred until a later meeting. The way it's being communicated in our writing, and I had this discussion with another member of council who actually brought it to my attention because he also saw it the same way. And I know the other week I talked to the clerk's office and they say that how it shows in a legislature is a little bit different, but there's no strong distinguishing language, Mayor Nuttall, about us essentially receiving the motion that was essentially voted down, or the motion that was tweaked versus the motion that was presented to the reference committee. And if that sounds a little bit confusing, you can imagine my concern that also the way it's been presented is a little bit confusing. So I guess the question to the clerk is, can we just go back to the way that reference committees were, the motions coming out of reference committees were done previously? And I know not as many items all the items for discussions didn't usually go through reference committees, but we still had advisory committees giving their recommended motions. And it's just a little bit, again, when it was just me a week or two ago, that was one thing, but now I've had another member of council in complete isolation of me thinking the same thing, echo the same concerns. I just want to make sure for clear, even though we might be technically correct, at least for clarity's sake, that we optimize our reporting.
Madam Clerk.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Morales. The process for the minutes has not changed since last term of council. There has been some different ways. Some of the motions that have come from the previous terms from the advisory committees have been received for information purposes. That's noted in the motion that the following be received for information purposes, so it's clear, because the motion's either been dealt with or it's redundant. I think you'll see less and less of those as we go through the next set of advisory committee meetings, now that we're pretty much caught up on approving or dealing with the advisory committee motions from the previous term. But the way that the motions from, or the recommendations from the reference committees are included on the general committee agenda are no different than the way they were the last term of council.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ms. Cook. That was a really awesome, a great answer. And that's great. So now that we've kind of fleshed through the other ones, I think also reading the minutes, Mayor Nuttall, of some of the advisory committees, I think maybe this is in addition to my comments. So Ms. Cook answered my comments well on that one. I think the minutes also, and I don't have them in front of me because I have my iPad, so I'm between the Zoom and Legislar. But for example, meetings of affordability, community safety, just says that the motion was put there. And I like the way that it used to be, where like the motion was debated and the motion was defeated, passed by the members in attendance, et cetera, et cetera. It is clear by the time it gets to general, or by the time it gets to council. But it's just, I had to like reread the minutes a couple of times, and I just want to make sure if there's anybody who doesn't have years of experience on council reading the minutes, whether it be a member of council or the public, that it's just a little bit, that it's crystal clear. So those are my comments, Mayor Nuttall.
Thank you, Councillor Morales, for your comments with regards to Section A of General Committee Report. Are there any other questions or comments around the table? Seeing none, we will call the vote. All those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reitman, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-027, motion 22-G-182, referred by General Committee on December 7th, 2022, correspondence from the Allendale Neighbourhood Association concerning Bill 23. 23-G-028, land disposition matter, Victoria Street and Innisfil Street. 23-G-029, enhancement of proactive property standards by law enforcement. 23-G-030, property standards. 23-G-031, investigation establishing a heritage conservation district, Blake Street and Dundonald Street, received for information. 23-G-032, heritage planner position, received for information. 23-G-033, municipal heritage registry, 62 High Street. 23-G-034, designated list of properties, plaque heritage Barrie Committee. 23-G-035, heritage conservation district. 23-G-036, municipal street naming for streets in Mapleview South. 23-G-037, Mapleton Avenue stopping prohibited in Ward 6. I will finally go to the shortcuts. 038, Community Improvement Plan, Summary Report 2022. 039, Bill 109, Implementation Update. 040, Invitation to present to Council for Lakehead. 041, Invitation to Council for Napoleon. And 042, Invitation to present to Council by Dr. Mike Moffat. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motions in Section B? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Councillor, I just called you Councillor Thompson. Moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Ritma, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. This is 23-G-043, Agreement with the School Board Use of Facilities. Are there any questions and comments around the table? Seeing none, I'll call for a recorded vote.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I will start with Councillor Hamilton.
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
Councillor Harris.
Yes.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Councillor Negussi.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Corser.
Yes.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes.
Councillor Nixon.
Yes.
Councillor Ritma.
Yes.
Mayor Nuttall.
Yes.
Carried.
That carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Ritma that Section D of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. This is 23-G-044, Zoning Bylaw Amendment 651, 59, 665, 69, and 673 Mapleview Drive East, Sobeys, Ward 9. Are there any questions or comments with regards to Section D of the committee reports? Seeing none, I'm going to call the vote. All those in favor? Recorded vote requested by Councillor Morales. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'll start with you.
Yes.
Councillor Ritma.
Yes.
Councillor Nixon.
Yes.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes.
Councillor Corser.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Negussi.
Yes.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Councillor Harris.
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
And Councillor Hamilton.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section E of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Ritma that Section E of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-045, it's Water Operations Branch 2022 Drinking Water Systems Report. It's also 23-G-046, invitation to present to Council for Tourism Barrie Consultant for Sadlin Arena Expansion. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the two motions on the floor in Section E? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section F of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Ritma that Section F of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-047, correspondence from the circulation list dated February 15th, 2023, Freshwater Action Plan Fund. 23-G-048, correspondence from circulation list dated March 1st, 2023, Skydev Rental Housing and Affordable Housing. 23-G-049, memorandum from circulation list dated March 1st, 2023, information to accompany Skyline, Skydev, and the Community Improvement Plan. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion contained within Section F of the committee reports? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section G of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be received.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reitman, that Section G of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be received. 23-G-050, confidential personal information matter, appointment to various advisory committees. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the receiving of this report? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section H of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reitman, that Section H of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-051, appointments to various advisory committees. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in... There's an amendment from Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by yourself, that motion 23G051 of Section H of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023 be amended by adding the following paragraph. That at the request of the Barrie Sports Hall of Fame Board for a council representative, Councillor Negusi be appointed to Barrie Sports Hall of Fame Board.
You know, it's a long day when you're forgetting that you actually seconded items and you're no longer remembering. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by myself that motion 23-G-051 of Section H of the General Committee Report dated March 1st, 2023 be amended by adding the following paragraph. That at the request of the Barrie Sports Hall of Fame Board for a council representative, Councillor Negusi be appointed to the Barrie Sports Hall of Fame Board. Are there any questions and comments around the table with regards to the amendment to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. With regards to the main motion as amended, are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section A of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reitman, that Section A of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted. It's the 2023 Business Plan and Budget. Barrie Police Services Board. Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. In order to meet my legislative requirements under Section 17, Sub 3 of the Police Services Act, I will not participate in the discussion or the vote on this matter.
Madam Clerk, has Councillor Harvey's conflict been noted?
Yes, Mayor Nuttall, it has.
Thank you, and thank you, Councillor Harvey. Are there any questions or comments around the table with regards to the Barrie Police Services budget? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reitman, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted. This is the 2023 Business Plan and Budget for the Barrie Public Library. Are there any questions or comments around the table?
I'd like to record the vote.
Madam Clerk, a recorded vote is being requested by Councillor Corser.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Again, we'll start with Councillor Hamilton.
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
Councillor Harris.
Yes.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Councillor Negusi.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Corser.
No.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes.
Councillor Nixon.
Yes.
Councillor Rima.
Yes.
And Mayor Nuttall.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Reitman, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Ritma, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated March 8, 2023 be adopted. This is 2023 Business Plan and Budget for the Service Partners. Are there any questions or comments around the table? Seeing none. I do have some comments because this is the final vote that we're going to have with regards to the 2023 budget. We've obviously come a long way in the sense that it was almost a month ago, if not a month ago, that we were starting to conduct our deliberations on the operating budget for the City of Barrie. And through that process, and actually confirmed tonight, was a 0% increase with regards to city operations. And that is something that our team at City Hall, whether it was our general managers and specifically Mr. Miller and your entire team, worked incredibly hard in a very short period of time. And I want to, on behalf of council and certainly on behalf of the residents of Barrie, say thank you for that. I know they weren't always easy conversations and easy days, and it's a lot easier to smile about it today than it was probably a month ago. But thank you for all of the work that was done to allow for that to happen. And the fun thing about being the CFO is you get to start working on next year's budget about 3 weeks ago. With regards to passing the city operations budget at 0%, we then moved on to the capital side. And I think there's an exciting capital plan here in the City of Barrie. There's also a scary capital plan because of the changes in the market, but there's an exciting one. If you think about Bryan Drive, if you think about Georgian Drive, Duckworth Street, I mean, Georgian is such an important one because of obviously the RVH and the necessity to move medical vehicles, ambulances up and down it. There's investments happening around the city, and there was actually an increase with regards to what we wanted to see of investment going forward. Tonight, we're approving the service partners. And while we don't have necessarily the complete control to determine things like the police budget or the county, I do want to say a few things about it. We are seeing 5 new police officers hired here, and I think that that's something that will bring us up to our full complement that we have been aiming for a number of years. At the same time as hiring 5 new officers, there are massive investments happening through the county Simcoe with regards to social housing. And that social housing is not going to start here in the City of Barrie. There's social housing happening, construction happening in Aurelia. It's going to be down in Bradford. I think there's some looking at Midland Penetang and the City of Barrie on Rose Street. But when we're able to deliberate over a budget that holds the line on city operations, invests heavily in infrastructure, delivers social housing and a greater police presence, and is the lowest budget passed in the area, I'm incredibly proud of the work that our staff and our council's done. So I just wanted to say thank you, because it's not been easy for everybody to learn all of the budget items, the binders, as you've been going through them. This is my first time overseeing a budget as mayor, and you made it really easy for me. And so I just wanted to say thank you, and each of us should be proud of the work we've done, but even more than that, we should be proud of the work that our public service has done in order to position us and get us here. With that, if there's no other comments or questions, I'll call the vote. All those in favor on my right?
Recorded vote.
Recorded vote is being requested by Deputy Mayor Thompson. Madam Clerk.
You guys are keeping me busy tonight. Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'm going to start with you.
Yes.
Councillor Ritma.
Yes.
Councillor Nixon.
Yes.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes.
Councillor Corser.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Negussi.
Yes.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Councillor Harris.
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
And Councillor Hamilton.
Yes.
Vote carries unanimously.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think we found a new toy called recorded votes this evening.
Mayor Nuttall, I've been told in a very friendly ways that you knew that toy years ago when you were a councilor.
I don't know what you're talking about, Councillor Morales, but thanks for outing me. We'll now move on past direct motions and presentations to inquiries. Deputy Mayor Thompson, do you have any inquiries for this evening?
I have none, Mayor.
Are there any other inquiries around the table this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Kungle.
So to all the ladies and men in the room that are great supporters, happy International Women's Day. I know there were some wonderful activities and attention to this, both through our communications, our activities through the Mayor's office around the flag raising, but also through the Women and Children's Shelter and others, the Women's Advocacy Council of Simcoe County, and many that surrounded that messaging and participated. So it's always nice to put a mark on the day, and please follow through every day. Can we carry some of that messaging forward in our actions and in our conduct and in the ways in which we hold true to the elements of today. So thank you for those. My other one is more ward specific. So Walk With Me Wednesdays. I'm a little stiff this morning because a friend of mine had me moving and shaking pretty hard. I earned my 4.5 kilometers in 45 minutes. I'm hoping my GPS is right, but if it's not, I'm still going to take the credit. So that'll be happening ongoing for the rest of the month of March at the mall. And if you want to join me, I'll be shifting out into the community and through the ward in different neighborhoods. So reach out to me or follow me online on my Councillor Kungle Facebook page. I'll post Tuesday where I will be in the community and in some of our green spaces on Wednesday. And in general, hoping to see you there or in some way see you out and about enjoying what feels like spring weather is coming around the corner.
Thank you, Councillor Kungle. Are there any other announcements around the table this evening? Councillor Hamilton.
Just a brief announcement that the Ward 10 Advisory Council met this past Monday evening. So minutes are available to be shared with anyone in Ward 10 or anyone else who is interested. They are posted on my website, but you can also reach out to me directly, and happy to share the conversation and dialogue that took place.
Thank you, Councillor Hamilton. Councillor Harris.
Are you going to mention Hockey Helps the Homeless, or if it's on your list, I'll defer to you?
Well, I think you were a far better participant than I was, so why don't I defer to you?
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make a shout out to our community. On Friday, Hockey Helps the Homeless was held at the Peggy Hill Center, raised nearly $150,000, and just wanted to make a special note to the top fundraiser, Shay Thurlow himself, raised over $14,000. Absolutely incredible. So thank you to Dave McCullough, who was the chair, and our local hockey legend, Mike Gartner, who was the ambassador. An incredible day in support of Redwood Park Communities and the Busby Street Center. So thank you, everybody in Barrie who contributed. It was an incredible success, so thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Now, you were out on the ice that day. Did you win?
3-0.
3-0. There it is.
Who's keeping score?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you, Mike Krusniewski made me wear his jersey in the third game. He's never looked worse.
Well, I'm sure that it was a ton of fun and obviously raised a ton of money for two incredible organizations. Any other announcements around the table this evening? Seeing none, I'll go into my own. Just before we do, one of the things that was really incredible about Hockey Helps the Homeless was they've actually held this now twice in 6 months because of COVID. And so they raised, I think, a combined $290,000 in 6 months for these two organizations. Like, that is awesome. And the amount of work that goes into it from the volunteers and the fundraisers, it was just really, really, really neat to see. So thank you, Councillor Harris, for representing City Council better than I'm pretty sure that any of the rest of us could do. So I'd like to acknowledge that today, as Councillor Kungle has stated, is International Women's Day, a global day celebrating social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. I would like to proclaim March 18th as Transit Operator and Worker Appreciation Day. We'll actually be hosting an Appreciation Day over at the Transit Terminal. The City of Barrie and the County of Simcoe will be hosting a commercial trucking job fair on March the 29th at the Allendale Recreation Centre between 4:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. For more information and to register, please visit barrie.ca/trucking job fair. The City of Barrie is seeking proposals from local artists for digital designs for the traffic cabinet wraps. The deadline to apply is March 20th at 5 p.m. For further information or to apply, please visit barrie.ca/publicart. The city's annual I Love Barrie contest is still open for entries. Students from kindergarten to grade 12 can express why they love Barrie by sharing artwork, a short story, or a photo. The contest deadline is March 31st at 4:30 p.m. For more information, please visit barrie.ca/lovebarrie. The City of Barrie, along with the Barrie Public Art Committee, is inviting proposals from local and regionally based professional artists to participate in Brightening Barriers project. The project pairs artists with downtown Barrie businesses to turn patio fencing from barrier to canvas. Submissions will be accepted until March 13th at 5 p.m. For more information, please visit barrie.ca/publicart. There are no meetings next week due to March break. The next Community Safety Committee, Affordability Committee, and General Committee meetings will be held on Wednesday, March the 22nd. That concludes my announcements for this evening, and we will move on to bylaws. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Rietman. Leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, third, and finally passed. Bill 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. It's seconded by Councillor Rittma that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bills 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. I feel like when I'm doing that I'm showing off that I can count. Are there any comments or questions with regards to these bills? None? Then we'll call the vote. All those in favor? And it's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Rietman, the confirmation bylaw. Leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third, and finally passed. Bill 24.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Rittma, the confirmation bylaw that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill will be ready first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 24. Any questions or comments with regards to Bill 24? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it's approved. Do I have a motion to adjourn? It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungle. Do we have to vote on that? Do we have to vote on that, Madam Clerk? Yes? Perfect. Okay. All those in favor on my right and left? It's approved. We'll see you 2 weeks tonight, and it's 8:16 p.m.